Hello, and welcome to the channel. In tonight's episode, I am in the garden and I'm getting ready to attempt to try an experiment. If you'd like to see what that experiment is, stay tuned. Happy March to everybody. It is March 1st and I am in the garden. My last frost date is in about a week. I'm going to give it two. And I am out here trying to make sure that I am as ready as I can be with this 2024 growing season. And so I used to have horseradish right over there. Well, I brought that horseradish to this garden last year when I moved from North Texas. It had a different grow zone, different climate, different environment. And when I moved down to South Texas, it did not fare very well. I have been searching high and low locally for horseradish, have not been able to find horseradish. So I said, let's go to the store. I went to the grocery store to pick up horseradish. That's where the experimentation comes in. This was the packet that I bought several years ago of that horseradish. Looks just like the horseradish I found at Whole Foods. So we're going to go in the garden today and we're going to plant some horseradish I found at Whole Foods. And fingers crossed that it will grow for me and give me horseradish. So let's get into the garden. This is the original container that I had the horseradish in, and I hope you all can hear me. I have been going through the garden and re-fertilizing my containers. Now what you see here is some compost that have dried up on the top that I pulled out of my compost bin. I have some leaves that I pulled out of the leaf bin, and I have just some azomite rock dust, some chicken poop, and some Osmocote slow release fertilizer. I'm just going to mix this in, and then I'm going to top this with a little bit of store-bought compost that I bought from the store. I think it might be potting soil. Uh-oh, sorry about that, you all. So I'm just going to take this irrigation out and just place it over to the side. I hope you guys can see and hear me. And I'm just going to try and mix this in. Oh, the soil looks great. Hang on, let me move this out the way so you guys can see the soil. Public service announcement. When you're working with dry fertilizers like chicken poop, you should probably wear a mask. You don't want to inhale all those particles. Okay, so I'm just moving this out of the way. Look at that. This is the soil that's in this container, and it looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm actually going to just turn this over, mix this in, go get the store-bought just to fill this container up a little bit more because it's like about halfway full and I want it to have more soil, and then I'll be right back. I picked up a couple of bags of Stay Green flower and vegetable garden soil plus fertilizer. They had it on sale or on special at Lowe's. I'm going to add a little bit of that in here, as well as some chop and drop that I sowed in a lot of my pots over the fall. I put fenugreek, I put clover, and I put alfalfa. So I'm going to go to one of my other pots, take a little chop and drop, cut it down, and also place that in here as well. I took a handful of my chop and drop, and I'm just going to place that in there and let that rot down. As I was tossing the soil, getting that fertilizer that I put in there, I did find some of my composting worms in here. So the leaves and all the other things that are breaking down will be great food for the worms. This will also help to feed the horseradish and anything else I choose to place in here. So I'm just going to place some of this compost or garden soil in this pot. I'm not going to mix it in. I'm just going to let it stay on the top And then we're going to plant this horseradish. I wasn't going to mix it in, but let me show you what it looks like up close. See, it has a lot of wood in it, a lot of wood chip, and I did not want that just sitting on the top. As you can see, you all probably may not want to, but here is a worm. I'm going to put him back in there. He or she back in there and cover him up. And so I didn't want all those wood bits to stay on the top. So I just mix it in just a little bit. Now here are the 2 pieces of horseradish that I got from the store. And I've had them for a couple of days. I don't know whether or not this is going to work, but I'm going to give it a try. And I'm trying to decide as I stand here, do I want to chop them up and have 4 pieces versus 2? I don't know how any of this is going to work, but I'm going to give it a try. Now, what I did read is that you should just leave them laying on the top like that. Don't just, bury them in any particular way. Just leave them laying. There's another worm right there. Huh, okay. Sorry for all the noise, y'all. I have not unwrapped my garden yet, and it has plastic everywhere. So let me get that big fat worm and push it back up under the soil. I'm happy to see there are worms in here. That'll give me worm castings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap these. Oh, these might not be any good. They've been sitting out for a couple days. I don't know. We'll see. I didn't have a chance to come out here when I wanted to because it was cold and rainy and I didn't want to be out. And this one snapped where I didn't want it to snap. But we'll see if this is going to work. It may not work. We'll see. So I am just going to lay them like this on top of the soil. And I am going to grab a little bit more of that soil out of the bag and cover them up. If it doesn't work because they've been in the house for a couple days, then I can always just go back and get a few more. I'm hoping that this will work. I'm going to keep an eye on it. But I have not been able to get out here. Yesterday was absolutely horrible. And then today, this afternoon, the sun started to come out. And the sun has not been out all day. So there we go. So I am just going to pat it in like that. Put the irrigation back in the center. I'm going to get some wood chip and put it on top. And then I'm going to leave this. I was going to water this in, but I'm not going to water this in because this soil is nice and moist. It did rain yesterday. So I'm just going to put the wood chip on top and leave it. And that is it for right now. And I'll keep you guys abreast of what happens with this pot. I kind of sort of have the feeling that it's not going to work, but I'm going to try to be optimistic. Now, as you guys can see, I have just topped it with wood chip. Now, in the original pot, I had horseradish, burdock root, and comfrey. I placed all of my comfrey in the ground. I put burdock root seeds in several pots. I believe I put the burdock root seeds in my asparagus pots, but don't hold me to that. I don't quite remember. I'd have to go back and look at the tag. That's if I wrote it on the tag. But I did sow some burdock root seeds some time ago. So we'll see what comes up. Well, that is it for me tonight. I am about to lose the sunlight, so it's time for me to call it a night. So I hope you enjoyed today's quick experiment video. I hope something comes of it. I'll keep you guys abreast of how things go. Until I see you again, either in my kitchen, my garden, or my garage growing green space, I hope to see you again real soon. Bye for now.